Welcome back to the channel. Today we're heading off on the Golden Valley Pilgrim Trail. This is either a 3 or a 6-day route, winding through quiet Herefordshire countryside, ancient churches, riverside paths and picturesque villages. This is our first stop on the pilgrimage today. It's St Bartholomew's, so we'll go in now and have a look around, see what we can see. Some lovely jams there. St Bartholomew's is one of the most distinctive churches en route, dating from the 12th century. Inside, much of the medieval roof structure survives. The font is Norman style and likely dates from its original construction. This church was the heart of life in Church. The name Church itself likely derives from fore church, meaning church on the River Dore. From here I made my way through fields of wheat and hedgerows thick with plums, damsons, blackberries and apples, to the next stop on the Pilgrim Trail, the village of Peterchurch. This churchyard must have been here for a very long time. Just look at the size of this yew tree. I could literally climb inside of it. I'm just coming out of Peterchurch now. Although we're doing the shorter route along the Golden Pilgrimage, there are a few spots from the longer route that I'm going to include, and one of them's this very, very special spot which I'm really excited to see. So we're nearly there, and yeah, I don't really know what to find when we get there. It says it's a St Peter's Spring, so yeah, we'll see what's there. Today I feel like I've bigged it up now. It might be like a tiny little hole in the ground, I don't know, I've never been here, so but yeah, I was really excited to see this, and it was the only holy spring on the whole trail, so I wanted to include it in this. Okay, so this is probably one of the most disappointing places I've ever been. So that, I think, was maybe more of an original well, but actually now the water authority have it, and yeah, it's private, so I guess it's in there somewhere. Yeah, okay. And then I think, see, that is some of the water that's coming out, apparently it has a very high mineral content and is meant to be healing, and people were baptised here. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more. I don't know. Feels a little bit sad, really. I was expecting, I don't know, just maybe something like maybe a plaque, or I don't know, something to kind of mark the spot. I guess not. This is the last stop for today, and it's a castle you can't see, but you will do in a second. This is Snodhill Castle. This is actually the only site on the pilgrimage that I visited before. So yeah, but nice to go back again. And apparently there's been a lot of digging for artifacts, so we'll have a look at that as well. So this is where they've been excavating, and it says it's a royal free chapel, and a chapel existed here from the 11th century.
The second day on this trail started at St Faith's in the village of Dorston, a site which dates back to the 13th century. Although the Victorians added much to both the interior and exterior of this beautiful little church, historical features still remain, like the bells, which are from 1350.
So that was Arthur's tomb. It's a 5,000-year-old burial tomb. I felt like we were back in the south of England, and so I've just come from there now, heading off into farmland, which, to be honest, is I'm not a huge fan of this kind of walking. It can be quite pretty, but I find it difficult to navigate sometimes, and the waypoints are not very well maintained, so it definitely tests my navigation, my ability to navigate. But just look at how gorgeous it is again today. I am going to check, but I do think this is probably why it's called the Golden Valley. Just fields and fields of wheat everywhere. Absolutely stunning. I made it through the cow field and then through the bull field as well, and just bumped into 3 other hikers also doing the Golden Valley Trail, which was really nice actually. I felt like this was quite a obscure one, but it's nice to see some people doing the same one. They're going to be wild camping. I'm actually not wild camping on this route today, and I'll explain more about that later and kind of how I've chose to break up the route and what I'm doing and things. But yeah, they had a lot of gear with them I've just got my day pack with me on this journey, but I'm just coming down now. It's quite a big hill, and hopefully we'll be at Bredwardine soon. I'm really looking forward to getting there, and maybe I might go in the river, I'm not sure. We'll see how we're doing for time. It's nearly 6 o'clock and I'd like to get to kind of the end of today before it gets dark, although I have got a torch in my bag. But yeah, onwards to the next site of the church at Bredwardine. I think we'll have a look as well at Bredwardine Bridge, because that's really interesting and it's such a gorgeous location, so we'll have a look at that as well, even though it's not technically on the Pilgrim route.
Bredwardine Bridge, built in 1762, shadows the River Wye and is a beautiful example of Georgian-era toll bridge. Just a couple of 100 feet along the riverbank, you can find the Church of St Andrews. This 11th century church was built in traditional Norman style and still has a large Norman font within the church.
What an absolutely beautiful, magical church. This is definitely one of my favourite places that we've been on this pilgrimage. I don't know why, just felt really nice inside, very peaceful and calming. It's also a nice cool break from the hot sun and walking as well. I'm just making my way now down along the River Wye, which we're going to follow for the next couple of miles along this trail. I best get a wriggle on as well, because the sun's going to be setting soon, and this bit's going to be quite a bit of navigation, I think, so I'll have to have my wits about me. I'm just heading now down another road, just really trying to get a wriggle on. I don't have too long before the sun sets and I want to make it to the campsite in time. I'm a bit worried about it closing, to be honest, but fingers crossed I'll get there soon. Google Maps is saying about 30 minutes. Looking on the map, it seems roughly that, so I'm walking at pace, walking quite fast, and I think I can do it in under that, and make sure that I get there in time. I did ring ahead and just explain that I was walking, I was on foot, and that I think I was going to be late. They just laughed at me, so we'll see how we get on at the campsite. in all this crap and thistles basically, and I just can't find a way through. Over there is just loads and loads of nettles and stuff, and I can't see a way through, and I'm worried that if I go in and there isn't a way through, it's going to be really difficult to get back. So I might try going into the adjoining field, but it's just really unclear where the path is, because the path says it's into there, but then it's just nettles and there's nothing there. This is why I hate walking over these like farmland paths, because they're never well maintained and it's always really confusing where you're meant to go. Although I do also kind of feel like it's important to do them, because then it gets clearer where you're meant to go, and then they have to keep it up. But yeah, I'm like up to my chest in thistles and nettles and long grass at the moment, so not great. And I still haven't had my breakfast, which is not helping. We're getting closer to Tyberton, where I started, but there isn't a shop there, so I'll need to walk another, I don't know if it's 2 miles to the next stop, which is the church at, I think it's Madley, and I know there's a shop in that village, so I just want to get through this now so I can get some miles in and get going. It's just thick thistles everywhere. Like, I just don't know where I'm meant to go. So I came back out of the farm and I've decided to go back to the road because I just couldn't find a way through. I couldn't find a path. So I'm going to do the next few miles to Madley on the road, and then hopefully the shop's open when I get there, because flagging a bit this morning is taking a lot longer than I thought. So just need to get some miles in now. I've got quite a long way to go, and yeah, I feel like I'm running on empty. I did have food for breakfast, but I ate it last night because I was really hungry last night, along with my chilli and rice. So I'm paying the price for that lapse in judgment now. So I'll see what's in the shop in Madley. Hopefully it'll be open and they'll have something for me there. I'll be eating blooming blackberries and apples probably if the shop's shut. So I usually am quite healthy, but there was nothing healthy at all in that shop. So I've got sticks of pepperami, Diet Coke, horrendous food, squares and sesame snaps. So I did my best with what was on offer. Just gonna sit having a little picnic. I picked up this in one of the churches as well, so I'm just going to read about Madley before I go around, and we'll have a look inside. I think this is quite a special one, so I want to do it justice. So I'm going to refuel first, and then we can head on in. But yeah, it's a very needed break. I've done 9 kilometers, so just shy of 6 miles this morning, and then I'm going to look now on the map how much is left. I think it'll be a good 7 miles, but we'll see, to Hereford Cathedral. There's also a couple of stops along the way. I know there's Belmont Abbey, and I think there's a couple of other churches and cathedrals as well. But yes, just need to have a little sit down now, I think, and refuel and kind of, just take everything in.
St Mary's Church dates back to the 12th century and is a fine example of Norman architecture, with elements from later periods such as the Perpendicular Gothic style. The church is particularly noted for its stunning Norman doorways, a series of medieval wall paintings, and an impressive set of stained glass windows. The crypt, which was built below the church, used to house a miracle-working statue of the Virgin Mary, which attracted pilgrims from far and wide. The Church of St Michael and All Angels, Eaton Bishop, is one of the oldest churches on our route. It's existed here before the Norman conquest, although a large portion of it has been rebuilt since. The most notable feature here is the stained glass, considered to be some of the finest examples of medieval stained glass in England, featuring the Madonna and Child and the Archangel Michael. Belmont Abbey was founded in 1859 by the English Benedictine congregation and today remains an active congregation of around 30 to 40 monks.
I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I can see Hereford Cathedral there in the distance, the last stop, and it's about 3 miles from here, so gonna get a pace on and try and make it there for 4 o'clock. I am being picked up, but yes, not far now. I've done about 11.5 miles today, so I think we'll finish the day around 14 miles, maybe closer to 15, we will see.
The last stop on our journey is Hereford Cathedral, a Grade 1 listed cathedral dating back to the 7th century. It currently houses 3 world-class treasures, the Mappamundi, Chained Library and Hereford Gospels. The cathedral is dedicated to St Mary the Virgin and St Ethelbert, the young Mercian king, said to have been martyred here in 792. His tomb still remains in the cathedral, which has made it an early site of pilgrimage for Christians. I hope you all enjoyed this journey around a quiet corner of England, and if you did, please be sure to subscribe for more camping and hiking adventures.